Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Guys, today we're going to talk about the pay-to-win set. That is the Bolster set. So that is correct, but we are not watching this video. So this video is the one that I did, about 30 to 40 minutes ago. And I finished editing the video and everything. And then I went to make the thumbnail for the video, which should look better than this, which you're seeing right now. And I realized, the video actually was pointless. It was too long, 22 minutes. So we're going to try to make this one faster. And I want to get you guys some better information. So this right here is the YouTube upload. We got 5 minutes left on the upload that was going to go up, but this one's going to be the new one. So it's kind of like a weird situation going on here, but I figure, I've already recorded the intro, so I might as well just use that one, right? So today, what we're going to be doing is talking about the Bolster set. So I went ahead, I bought the rest of the levels of the Forge Pass. There's about 10 more levels, so I spent about $10. I've been doing a ton of farming on Spider, and using this extra experience in Silver has definitely been pretty beneficial. But the Bolster set, before you guys jump in here and start forging all the pieces, I want to give you guys kind of a little bit of my opinion. I want to show you guys some champions I have it equipped on and just kind of some of my initial thoughts. So first off, the Bolster set, the Instinct set, any of these Forge Pass sets, I think they're amazing. I think they're a very solid purchase, especially if you're not in game. As long as you don't have tons of pieces of gear, I think it's a pretty good deal. I mean, 20 bucks for about 200 pieces of gear that's forgeable is a very good deal. I mean, typically it's like $200 for 6 sets of 6 pieces of gear that you can't really pick the stats whatsoever on. So in the Forge, you can come in here, hit the rank charms, hit the rarity charms, which, by the way, I highly recommend doing. If you spend money, or even if you didn't spend money, if it's just the free version of the Bolster set, which is still very usable, because the way the Bolster set works is if you have it equipped on anybody and you have somebody else in a shield set, all the shields from the sets, Bolster and shield sets, will be combined and protected. So even if you have a 4-piece, unleveled, 1-star set of Bolster gear and you have a good shield set, it's going to be a protected value of that shield set shield. Well, the shield set plus the Bolster set. But whenever you do these things that you purchase, okay, Bolster set, Instinct set, they're limited sets. So I highly recommend you go ahead, go to rank, go to rarity. Both of these charms only forge if you have rank and rarity charms, or really that's the best time, because you want to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck for each one of these pieces, because you can't really just farm them. So with the Bolster set, I always make sure I have both of those. I've already forged about 60 or 70 pieces, maybe a little bit more. I'll show you guys all those pieces after that. But then the next thing, this is really relevant to really any set you forge, period. So that is, I like to start with the weapon, helmet, and shield. Less RNG because you have static main stats. You always have attack on the weapon, HP on the helmet, and defense on the shield. Whereas with gauntlets, chest plates, and boots, you could have flat attack, flat defense, and flat HP, and basically make a useless piece. Granted, there's some situations where it wouldn't really matter, but in general, you want either percentage stats or speed for the boots. So these down here, these bottom 3, I typically only do those if I've already forged a nice little stockpile of the top 3. So for example, say I take 90 pieces, okay? Say I have like 180 pieces to forge. Just for some simple math, I may take the first 90 and do 30 with weapon charms, 30 with helmet charms, and 30 with shield charms. Once I finish that, I'm gonna go into my inventory, see what I have actually going on, upgrade some pieces to 8 to 12, so on and so forth, see where I'm lacking, what I need more stats of, and then I'll come back in here. Maybe I didn't get enough shields in that forging session, I'll get some more shields from there. Now, every time I make sure I have some substats charms for the substats that I want. So say, for example, we were doing gauntlets, okay? So we already had a good stockpile of the top 3 thing. We wanted some more gauntlets, okay? Well, for the example, we wanted HP percentage main stat. Well, if we put the substat charm on there, some people used to think that using the substat charm actually lowered your chance of getting that stat for the main stat. So with gloves, you can get HP percentage main stat, but if you got HP percentage main stat, you can't get that as a substat. Well, how the Forge works is it rolls the main stat first, and say you got defense percent, well, now you have a 50% chance of landing a HP percentage substat on that piece of gear. Whereas if it rolls HP percentage initially for the main stat of the gear, then this charm is basically just irrelevant for that specific piece of gear. So having these charms does not lower your chance of actually getting that specific main stat on the piece. It basically just allows for like a safety buffer in my mind. Basically like, hey, if I'm not getting HP percentage gloves, which is what I really want for Bolster set, well, now I can get maybe defense percent with an HP percentage substat, which is like the next best option for me. Now, when it comes to Bolster set specifically, what substat charms would I use? So first off, like I said, this is kind of like in general, I'd always start with the type charms that are for whatever you need initially, top row pieces because less RNG. But then as far as this piece over here, there's kind of two ways to think about it. So initially, I was just strictly just HP charms, but somebody on stream actually mentioned that the bolster set is kind of like a lesser version of regeneration in a way, and it is definitely lesser because it's 10% versus 15%. So you could justify going with some bolster forging. I mean, regeneration, you have to farm that. So you could forge bolster with some speed charms and get some pretty good fast champions in bolster gear, getting a 10% heal every turn. That's definitely a very viable option, definitely a good potential option. Speed is never a bad thing to have per se, but for me, what my goal is to put this on a champion who's gonna be pretty slow, basically just a meat shield. So like Arsuga, Warcaller, have it on her, huge meat shield. She just has a big base of HP, a big base defense, and yeah, just stack her stats up way high, give her a bolster set, she's gonna be good to go and protect the team. So definitely for the substat charms, HP, possibly speed, crit rate and crit damage was ones that I kind of considered. So with crit rate, I was thinking, okay, maybe more to Macabre, crit damage, same thing. He doesn't need attack, he doesn't need defense, he just needs good HP and crit rate with a lot of crit damage, and he just obliterates the enemy. However, I think for Mortu, that Stone Skin's a lot better. So I think for most situations, maybe if you use 2 Mortus, maybe one of them could be Bolster. But if you're just using 1 Mortu, I think having another champion on the team in Bolster gear is much better than having your Mortu in Bolster gear, because if he dies, he's never going to proc his passive ability, whereas if he stays alive, which is what Stone Skin's going to help him do, then he's going to be in a much better build. So let me show you guys what champions I currently have geared with Bolster. First, I want to show you how Bolster works with his shield set. So for example, we're going to use Diabolist in her pitiful Bolster set with 34,000 HP, and my Lydia is in a shield set. So if you have a shield set on somebody and a bolster set on somebody, you bring them into the campaign, come in here, you see those champions are already loaded because I already did this video. But now you'll see that both of these champions have a much bigger shield than a 10,000 HP shield. That's because Lydia's shield value is being combined with Diabolist's shield value, and it's protecting both of those because Diabolist has a bolster set, even though it's smaller than Lydia's shield set. So the shields combined, and they get the protected shield, which is amazing. For PvE content, so your dungeons, your campaign, well, in reality, nobody cares about campaign, but for dungeons, faction wars, Doom Tower, things like that, the bolster set's going to be really good, though I don't really see a huge benefit in shield sets in general for a lot of content, just because it's 3 turns. You're probably going to be going a lot faster than the enemy waves, so the shield set is probably going to wear off. However, with bolster, getting that extra heals per turn adds for a big extra added layer of value. Definitely. It's very amazing for that. I think Arena is really the place where bolster set shines, and that's where I am going to be using this 100% of the time that I'm using bolster set. Honestly, for me personally, I don't really see a use in PvE content where it actually makes a ton of sense. Maybe like some cheese and things, maybe you could kind of work it in, but I don't think it's the best option in most cases. However, if you guys have a different opinion, definitely let me know. So let me go in here, show you guys the pieces of gear that I did get from my forging adventures with bolster gear, and then we'll show you my champions that I made in bolster set, and we'll do a few arena matches, okay? So these are my pieces. Now, when it comes to actually cleansing this gear and selling it, if you have a 3-star piece and you're doing a video, you can sell that. But as far as like actually selling it, I would probably be on the side of keeping things that could be useless than selling things that could possibly be useful, but you don't really know. So with Bolster, it's very new, very early. I think it's a set that could be pretty significant as far as like possibly involved in the meta, very involved in Arena. And I think it may take time for people to realize where it works the best and how good it actually is. And that may end up being a different build than what I'm even doing right now. And also that could be a reason why you may want to save maybe like 100 pieces in your forge to forge at a later date. Maybe you have a different use down the road. So don't just jump in there, forge it all, and then come in there and cleanse it all and then wind up with having nothing. And then there's never another forge pass with the bolster set, and you're just out of luck because you don't have any more pieces to use. So be mindful about that. Don't come in here, just be very mindful about what you sell and what you keep and how fast you go through forging it. So my pieces, I'm not gonna click through all of them, but I got a pretty good stockpile of 6-star pieces. 6 stars mainly what I'm looking for. I got a pretty good stockpile. Now, as far as the champions that actually have it equipped on, obviously that's gonna be the best pieces. I did save some of these. These are, we can't even see the stats, but these are flat HP. For me, this has no use. Maybe I can quad roll it, triple roll. Maybe I can use Chaos Ore, But right now, I don't see enough value in Bolster compared to like Stone Skin, Protection, where I would actually want to use the Chaos Ore. But I don't really need to sell these pieces either because they're not taking up that much extra space. This pair of boots doesn't really make a ton of sense with Bolster gear, at least not initially what I'm thinking, but maybe it does down the road. So either way, we got a decent stockpile of decent things. So let's check out a few of my champions actually geared in Bolster. First up is our Suga Warcaller. So this champion right here is an absolute tank. 23,000 base HP, 1,500 base defense. Let's look at her gear she has equipped. Basically, I just wanted her to have as much HP as possible. And that's very important. Basically, what I was talking about earlier with the, forging stuff and then going back forging what you need around that. So I had a really good helmet, pretty good gloves, pretty good chest plate, pretty good pair of boots. HP percentage all on the bottom, really good helmet, triple roll HP. So I'm like, okay, I got this good core Bolster set. Let's go ahead and jump in here and try to find two pieces that work well in a different set around these four pieces. So we had this shield. I'm like, okay, this shield has a quad roll HP percentage. Well, even if I had a good Bolster shield, I can't use that. There's nothing gonna be better than this. So this is amazing. I'm like, okay, well, Frostbite's a 2-piece set. It's a very usable 2-piece set. It makes a lot of sense, actually. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and jump in there to the Forge. Go ahead and throw in some rank and rarity weapon charms with HP percentage. So I forged some of these, got lucky, got an HP percentage substat on a weapon, and then boom, made her HP even a little bit higher. And this set actually turned out to be a pretty decent set in my opinion. Plus we have actually a banner that rolled thankfully pretty well also. 25% HP plus 8%. So she's looking like a pretty tanky tank champion with Bolster set for sure. So we have some reaction stuff as well. I think she's gonna be hard to kill. I like the way she looks. Triple roll on every single piece on the bottom. Definitely pretty lucky there. 128,000 HP. And guess what? My faction guardians for barbarians is just one stack. So a little bit of extra HP, but nothing else past that. Not empowered. She could be absolutely nutty stats for sure. So Ursuga is the first one. I'll show you guys some matches that I'm using with her. The next champion is Necrit. So Necrit, I need a little bit more speed on him. So getting Bolster set pieces that actually had speed was very important because I don't necessarily need him to be super slow. Ursuga, I don't really want her to take a turn. I want her reaction to last as long as possible. But Necrit, I want him to use his ally attack. I use him with my Ray on my arena offense team. I'll show you guys an example of that in just a minute. But I want him to make sure he takes a turn, ideally right after Ray goes. So I needed some speed. That's where it goes to, hey, getting the speed subsets on these pieces can actually be pretty beneficial. And this is a perfect example of that. He has HP percentage boots, HP percentage chest plate, and then we have the Bolster pieces built around my two solid immortal pieces. Actually, I kind of just got lucky and this worked, but definitely build around your already good pieces if you can. If you have the ability to do so, go ahead and do it. Good HP percentage there. I try to get HP percentage wherever I could. Some pieces I just haven't forged enough to actually have a good stockpile, but hey, double roll speed. Now we're pushing 169 speed. Funny number. But we have that with all HP percentage stuff on the bottom row. HP percentage banner, HP main stat with percentage stats with HP on the banner. A good necklace, and then a crazy ring. Don't be jealous, guys. Don't be jealous. We got a quad roll defense ring on Necrit right now. So Necrit's my other champion. Now, both these champions, they might cost a little bit of money, okay? They're Void Legendary champions. They're not what I would call necessarily a free-to-play champion, but you can do free-to-play options as well. So this is what I've done with a free-to-play, we'll call it that, low spender, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever makes you happy for this to be known as. But Vogoth is a good champion. You want to stack him with a lot of HP. It doesn't really matter about his speed because for him, most of the time, you really just want him to take some damage and heal everybody. You don't want reaction accessories on him because he heals based on the damage he takes. So if you have reaction stuff on him, you see where I'm going? Like he takes no damage from the reaction basically, and then he heals no damage. So then he's kind of just like a useless champion there. So be mindful about that. You don't want reaction on the bottom row. Let him take some damage, stack his HP way high, HP chestplate, HP gloves, HP boots, get a Bolster set, and boom, now you're rocking almost 100,000 HP on a champion who, once the enemy actually works through the shield, well, now they got to work through him actually healing everybody. So he's going to have, what, a 30,000 HP shield on everybody, and then healing all the time. It's going to be a pretty annoying team to get through. And hey, we're just throwing with Seeker. Now, what if you got the free version of the Forge Pass? Well, guess what? You can throw your Seeker in a Bolster set. Even if it had defense percentage, make Seeker have good accuracy, make Seeker have good HP, good speed, good accuracy, good defense, whatever you want. Put the Bolster set on him, give Vogoth your best shield set. And then like I said before, now you're going to have the shield set plus the Bolster set combine to get a very big protected shield. So keep that in mind. You can definitely do that. That's no problem whatsoever, especially on teams like this where you have Seeker in the lead, placing that increased defense on everybody if he gets hit with a crit, which is so good. So you have that buff. You have a protected shield. So now you have a protected shield, an increased defense when you're hit pretty hard. You're going to have a crazy tanky team. Used to, I would use this basically exact team with a shield set on Seeker, but I couldn't go against champions who stripped, because if they strip, then I'm basically wrecked. Well, now you can. Before, I would use Guardian gear instead, but now you don't even have to do that. You can literally just use this team, these two champions. This is an amazing go second team. Just stack a lot of HP on whatever champion has your shield set or your bolster set if you're only using bolster. Jump in the arena, you're going to have basically an extra almost 40,000 HP, 45,000 HP, depending on how they combined, and that's going to be a pretty significant impact, especially if Seeker procs this passive ability. You can also use Sandlash Survivor, maybe bring in an immunity champion for some cleansing, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. Let's jump in here, give you guys an example in this first one right here. Now with this team, this is not going to be the full free-to-play breakdown. My Madame Ceres is in Stone Skin, my Candrafon. I don't honestly have a good free-to-play nuker built, so I'm going to use Candrafon. He wasn't a guaranteed event not too long ago, so maybe he makes sense to you guys. With this said, though, I feel like if I throw Cardiel in here, that I get roasted and I become unrelatable. So I don't really want to throw Cardiel in here. I don't have anybody else built. But the idea here would be if you're going against this kind of team, Astralon's going to stun. So you need something to deal with his stun. Because if he stuns, then you're going to be controlled, you're going to miss your turn, and you may die. A go second team is good if you go second, but if you start going third, going fourth, if you're really slow, then you start getting into a weird situation. Let's throw Brogni in here, because Brogni brings a kamikaze shield, basically. He says, okay, you have a shield in your team, I'm going to reflect 25% of that damage back to the enemy, I believe is what it is, and they're basically just going to kamikaze themselves, okay? Which works amazing. So we have a bolster set on Brogni, we have a bolster set on Vogoth, we have some extra stuff on Seeker, and we're just going to sit back and relax, all right? So we're going to jump in here. Now, if you don't have Brogni, you don't need him, but this is just for an example. Honestly, Candrafon may not even get a turn. Hopefully, Astralon just nukes himself into oblivion. Let's see. Astralon deleted himself, okay? Alt F forward. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? I got Alt F forward, but Astralon also basically Alt F forward himself, which if you don't use a PC, that basically just instantly closes the program, which I learned the hard way playing World of Warcraft many years ago. I keybound Alt to my mouse, had F4 as a hotkey, as a macro, had the Alt modifier on my mouse, F4, game crashed in the middle of arena. Not a good situation when you're trying to push in 2v2 arena. But that example there was pretty bad. Honestly, I don't even know what happened. I blinked and we were dead. That's just what happened. I blinked and we were dead, flat out. So we're gonna go to the next. Actually, no, I'm gonna use my little bit more pay to win team there. So here, let's go here. Let's take out Ursuga. Ursuga, they're not gonna kill me with Ursuga, but they're also not gonna kill me with Necrit. Necrit, absolutely amazing. Such a good control champion. They strip me, doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter if they strip me, because guess what? We got a huge, thick shield still protecting me. Leo comes back, gives him a good smack. Here we go. We got Cardiel. Somehow got stripped. I'm kind of surprised because he has pretty high resistance. All right, there we go. Leo falling down. All right, let's go ahead and get feared, I guess. Now, we can't lose with the pay-to-win team either, right? There's no way, which might actually happen. Okay, kill everybody. This team is actually doing a lot better than I thought. Not my team, though. Their team. Like, I definitely wouldn't have used this as an example if I'd known I was going to be losing twice against this team. But they hit crazy hard. So, obviously, building a go second team, you got to be tanky. You got to be mindful. If you go against double DPS, you might get wrecked. Even if you use, I'd say, pay-to-win champions, right? Even if you use pay-to-win champions, you very well could get wrecked. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. Ally Tech. See, I was really not worried at all, guys. That was really a smooth match, to be honest. I wasn't really worried about losing whatsoever. What level is... Okay, he's level 100. For some reason, I thought he was lower level. 14 million. Okay, so those champions were pretty well geared. But let's go ahead and get another example here. We'll just... All right, so this team right here, we have the lockout and reset from Yumiko. So it's going to be interesting as far as that goes. We may not win, may not beat the team. Granted, keep in mind, all this stuff I'm showing you is up against players who are almost in plat. So these are pretty high players. But also, this team I'm using is definitely not going to be the ideal team to use against this. I'm going to give you guys a few more examples trying to use Seeker plus Vogoth. But in reality, you're going to want to use a little bit higher level teams if you're going to want to do good against this. Now, Trunda may be a champion who actually wrecks herself from a Brogni. Brogni reflecting the damage from the shield. I'm going to throw in Kandrafon just because I'm tired of losing 2 in a row. So we'll go ahead and throw in the Brogni there, get the damage reflected to Trunda. Hope, well, she's in Stone Skin. Why is your Trunda in Stone Skin? I wanted to give an example of how Brogni could kill her, but it can't kill her. She's in Stone Skin. That's really not necessary, to be honest. Trunda in Stone Skin. Why? I'm trying to do the showcase, and you throw your Trunda in Stone Skin to literally mitigate the entire showcase here, basically. Because now we have no shield. We can't do no more shielding, anything. I don't know. Confused. All right, we'll go ahead and get rid of Yumiko. Maybe, oh wait, no, what? We didn't. Okay, we have decreased attack, thankfully, because that would look pretty bad if we didn't. She's gonna lock me out again, probably. Now, earlier I went against a Yumiko, but Mortu killed enemy Solus, block revived. I think Yumiko reflected my block revive. I didn't know that was possible. Like, what? I guess he had somebody had a Hex on the team. I don't really know, but it was weird. I didn't know you could prevent a block revive because Sify turned around the next turn and just picked the Solus right up. Like, what the heck game am I playing? Did I not read the rules? But here we go. We'll go ahead and finish this match off. So we did finish it, of course. These two champions are pretty tanky, pretty survivable. But in general, if that Trunda was in a non-Stone Skin set, the match would have been a little bit quicker. Let's do go second against a team that's going to go slow anyways. Not really the best go second comparison. Let's go find a, preferably like Kymar plus Sify plus this team. This is a decent example here. Now, the issue here is we don't have a cleanser. So not having a cleanser against a Torment team, we're going to get frozen. I'm going to do Leo. I know it's another Void Legendary, but Leo can't get frozen. So if you want to build a full team, if you're going to go against Torments, if you get tired of going against Torments, you want to bring a cleanser, block debuffs, something like that. We have no more buff on us whatsoever. I guess they just ate right through that buff. We do have a bolster set on here, right? We should have 2. So they ate right through that buff, no problem whatsoever. And Trunda almost killed herself as well. Unfortunately, she didn't, but it was pretty close. So with this team, though, keep in mind, you definitely change it up, build it to how you see fit. Let's get into, after this, showing you my more pay-to-win version, okay? So obviously, depending on where you're at in the arena, it will depend on what kind of team you can get away with building. Obviously, look at the teams you struggle against, and then build based on that. I think on offense, with the team that I'm using, that I was using to push plat over the weekend, is going to work perfect, because teams like this is where I'm actually using my bolster set for. So the thing I gave you an example for just now was for the Go Second team. This is kind of like Warlord is what I was trying to get a team built for. But this team right here is where I was using Necrit in a protection set. But I think going from protection to bolster is actually going to be an improvement. Protection Necrit is very good, but he's extremely good 30% of the time. Because there's 3 buffs that he places. And if he protects the block debuffs or the strengthen, he always protects the allied protection. But if he protects one of those 2, then it's extremely good. But if he doesn't, then it's kind of like a useless set, in my opinion. But the bolster is always going to have value. And against champions like Hegemon and champions like Kandrafon, who can definitely one-shot my champions, this makes for a nice little padding where they're not as likely to get killed. Also gives my Necrit a few extra turns to actually survive. Yoshi, I don't really care about him, to be honest. As you can see, he's kind of just taking a nap on the ground. Not a big deal. He's just there to place the increased attack and increased accuracy. And then my Ray comes in, uses her A3 to freeze, hopefully kill most of the people. Duchess decides, I don't really care about the freeze. We're just going to go ahead and skip that and come out of it and res everybody. Because apparently Duchess can do that, oddly enough. And then we just kill everybody again. Because of the bolster set, we're good to go. Maybe. Is that why? The bolster set? I hope so. But either way, there's definitely been times where Kandrafons have one-shot my Ray, which is a very weird situation to be in. And having the bolster, I think, now is going to give me enough padding to where this shouldn't really be an issue. Now, Warlord, can't deal with him. Just an annoying champion. Why they made Warlords, I don't even know, to be honest. Crazy, crazy champion. Let's give an example down here, actually. Maybe this can work. Let's make it the YOLO themselves team, okay? So here, we're going to do Necrit plus Brogni, and they're going to hopefully just kill themselves. It's the best team. So, they're going to... Leo, let's see how big he hits. Let's see how hard Leo hits himself for. Come on, Leo. Yeah, half your HP. Perfect. Perfection. Okay, Cardiel's locked out. This is weird. And now we're going to kill Arbiter, because if not, she's just going to res. There we go. One shot. Beautiful. This is how the team should work flawlessly. But we're 27 minutes into the video, which the other one was 22 minutes. So if you're to this point in the video, guys, then thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you've learned something from it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, if nothing else. This video is better than the other one. Trust me. Just take my word for that. Even though the other one was probably like 10 minutes shorter. We're going to go ahead and finish this match off and wrap the video up. But let me know down below where you're using the bolster set at, where you've been finding luck out of it, where you've been finding good use from it. Definitely curious and interested in knowing. Boom, there we go. Wipe the team and finish it off with a nice, satisfying Warlord kill and an entrance into Platinum Arena where we belong. Beautiful. Warlord, why? Why is he even a champion? Why? Who decided to take a champion who can put each target skill on cooldown, 70, 80, 90, 100% chance? But yeah, that's not enough. Let's also give him a 30% chance, 30, 40, 50, 60% chance to fully deplete each target's turn meter on a 4-turn cooldown. Why? What part of the game was that a good idea? I feel like he's just broken. Like, fully deplete turn meter. We have a 4-turn cooldown on our ability. Well, now all your abilities are on cooldown. Immunity? Doesn't matter. We just ignore that. We just go right through immunity. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff, guys. But with that said, I'm not salty because I mean, I'd open for him, but you know, I'd get nothing. I'd probably get a dupe Visix or something, a Lydia empowerment. But who knows, guys? With that said, thank you all very much for watching the video. If you stayed to this point, I very much appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Good luck with your CVC. I plan on having this video out before CVC, but unfortunately, we're 10 hours left, and who knows? Maybe this video doesn't even go out before CVC ends. But with that said, thank you all, and I'll catch you all in the next video.